Hello everybody and welcome to another Peteman Reviews. Today we have the Unique Toys robot Ironhead, otherwise known as the Predacon Headstrong. As you can see, Headstrong comes transformed into this rhinoceros mode. He also has the backpack, which is a gun, which is actually Predaking's foot. Accessories wise, he comes with this sword. And also, if you change the gun, Predaking's gun down, that changes into a smaller gun there. It looks slightly better if it's held the right way up. So, in terms of Rhino mode, as you can see, Headstrong is quite a good character. If zooming up, you can see the mouth moves up and down. The legs do have some posability. Not much. But you can do limited poses. To make his legs, see they bend forward, they do rotate round, so they can bend the other way too. But it's a little bit tricky to do for that. The actual missile pack does come off, and by doing so, you can make his tail come up as well. So all in all, it's not a bad robot. Rather, it's not a bad toy, and it looks okay. Obviously, Predaking's foot itself is fully movable, so you can have it like that when you have Predaking giving him effectively high heels, or you can move that back down. That comes with full manoeuvrability as well, so the thing does move up like that for Predaking. You get the impression with the luminous parts that this should light up. It doesn't. I wonder if that might have been a Japanese variant. If you can see in there, there's actually a green glow, which looks like it should be lighting up, but never mind. It still looks very good in this version. So, being a Unique Toys robot, they can be a little bit tricky to transform. Headstrong is probably one of the easier ones, though his arms can be a little bit fiddly when you're trying to make him into Predaking mode. We'll begin by making him into robot mode. So, legs come apart like that, tail goes back in. These legs, if this comes off like this, don't worry about it. You've got a ball joint there. To be honest, it's a pretty useless ball joint, because these legs don't move at all, because that flips like that, and then that flips up like that. So I don't quite know why it's there, however it doesn't get in the way if it does come off. So that's the rear legs put in. His feet, so you can see there, you should be able to see that, there we are. This here flips down, and again flips down. Now these legs then extend like that, so that's the lower half. Head. That rhino part flips up like that, head rotates round, and there we are, that's his head. Arms, you can just see these are his hands, so what you need to try to do is to open this, hands come out like that, and then you've got all this part at the back. Oh, sorry, kick the camera, not a good idea. You then got to do with all this gubbins at the back here, so you need to kind of see this all moves out, and this does slot up. It doesn't go perfectly back in, but you can get it looking decent enough like that for his arms, and then you do the same on this side. So you want to get that out. This does all flip up like that. This will flip back. This is where you've got to have to get the ball joint, because what you want it is so that it can rotate this direction. So you need to swivel this round, swivel that up, and then that goes down. So what you end up with is something that looks like that. Rather like that. Looks alright, to be fair. And then you've got his sword, just slots in there, or rather it will do. So you have his hand out like that, sword goes in there. And then as for his gun, again you see you've got the gun in there, and there we are. And there we have him, Headstrong. As you can see, it's a relatively simple transformation for Unique Toys, which is a bit of a relief sometimes. If we just do a zoom in, so as you can see, there's some pretty good detail there. He keeps the traditional G1 colouring, but that's quite a good detail on him. And then as we go down, you can see the detail remains. It's quite a solid toy. He looks pretty good, and I think he works pretty well. Size comparison wise, so there we are. We just level that off. We'll get out Prowl again. So he was quite a good measure when we used him against Razorclaw, and do the same with Thundercracker. Now, remember how tall Razorclaw was? Headstrong is actually a pretty decent size. Obviously, Prowl's quite short, but the Prowl G1 toy is quite short anyway. However, Headstrong is a really good size comparison with Thundercracker, and it works pretty well. They are probably a similar size anyway. Thundercracker actually appears to have more bulk to him just because of the fact that he's got his wings. But otherwise, height-wise, that's a really good size for it. It's just Prowl that's a bit short, but maybe Prowl short. So, we now have the third transformation into Predaking mode. So for that, he doesn't need his gun, rather his sword. He doesn't need his gun either, so we'll take that off. Now, Predaking mode isn't too bad because remember, he's forming the legs of Predaking. So what you need to try to do is just to try to get him in such a way that he effectively stands on the leg, and there's a connector for Razorclaw's legs to go on to make the Predaking model. So if we start with the legs first, obviously feet go back up. You can already see the holes here which connect in. That slots together. You can slot this down, or you can keep it up. In the actual models of it, they do have it up. If you have it down like that, you get an extra joint, and it makes Predaking even taller, but it is meant to be up. This, so you've got the two holes here, literally the two just slot in. There we go, and that's how to do that. However, we'll just take it out of there for the moment because the head can be a little bit more fiddly, as one would expect. You do need to swivel him round. This, so the head goes back like that, swivels up. This is the connector joint, so this needs to ratchet up, and it is a really tough ratchet. So you can hear that all the way. There we are. That's a really tough ratchet. Not necessarily a bad thing, because it means that head now does rotate like that. There we go. That is the basis. Actually, the swivel should be that way. That is the basis of your robot, but you now have to deal with the arms. So, what we need to get is the arms get rid of again. We need to take these out of the way. So it helps to move these out like this first. The arms flip up like this. This will need to flip down. So this is where there's a little bit of fun. You have to somehow try and manoeuvre it. Something I must admit, I don't find these the easiest parts of them. It's the same with Violence or Rampage. They do work, but they aren't easy. You can see there's a little slot here, little tab here. They do slot together, but they can be a bit of a pain sometimes to actually get in. So there we are. So that's in, but you're now left with this stick out here, which I don't think that looks right. Maybe that's me. Doesn't look that's right at all. Okay, never mind. Oh, sorry, you need to be able to see. Never mind. We'll worry about that as we progress. It squeaks a lot. You can see there's also here, there's a tab. There is also a tab on his arm there, so that does need to slot into that point there. It is all really tight. To be honest, it's probably one of the trickiest changes of them all. And it is a bit irritating, the fact that they do make it quite so tough to change. It could be done a lot easier. I'm just gonna, as you can see, I am struggling a little bit with this. A little bit, annoying, but there we go. As I say, it could have been so much simpler. I don't quite know why they've made it as tough as they have done, but nevertheless they have. Right, we'll have a look at the other one because I've managed to get stuck on that, I'm afraid. So, similar deal here. That goes like that. Should do. There is a tab here, and there is a tab there, so that should go. Oh, there we are. Just got in. I don't know why that wouldn't work on the other one. That's how the leg should look. It doesn't really have a proper home for Predaking mode. It kind of it does literally kind of stick out at the back. It's a little bit on the silly side. Right, let's see what we did wrong here then. Should be pretty obvious actually, because you see that tab too surely should go in. Am I right? Or am I wrong? Yeah, I think. So we compare it this side. It's kind of helped, I guess, in that it shows exactly just how tricky these guys are. So the hand should be at the front. That should be there. That's exactly what we have. I don't think we got the tab in. Because if we look at this one here, there's the tab there for it to slot. If we put this one here, there isn't actually a tab for him to slot into. Interesting. Or depending on what your definition of interesting is. Don't you hate it when you end up with a toy that you're trying to demonstrate and you're not struggling? Because in theory, that should work. But for some reason this does not go down. It doesn't actually have anywhere to go down. I think we're just going to have to fudge this because we're going to be here forever. The toy is pretty much changed. I don't quite know it, so I'm putting quite a bit of pressure on this and it still won't move. I almost wonder if there's a mistake in the production. Not that a bad transformer ever blames his tools at all, no. But it's interesting the fact that there doesn't actually seem to be. You see this one? That quite clearly has something to go change down into. And that arm is actually a bit longer. It seems obvious now. And actually, looking at the instructions, not once does it say that moves forward. There. That's okay. I'm going to blame the instructions on that. So if you're in that same situation, though it doesn't say anywhere, that moves forward. When that moves forward, it's simple. I have to admit, this is something I do find problematic with unique toys in general. So I hope you've all enjoyed watching me struggle with that. Certainly I haven't enjoyed struggling with it, but now I know what to do. Yeah, it's fine. There we are. He is now in leg mode. So that was Predaking with just slotting there. And there we are. It's a pretty massive leg. Just compare him. That already is the same size as he was as a robot. And of course he's all been shrunken down a bit too. Gives you an idea of just how massive Predaking really is. So there we are. That is the Unique Toys robot Ironhead. It's a good toy. The instructions are lacking. I do wish they made it a bit more obvious. As we can see, if we have a look at the instruction there, you've got the arm comes down and flips there. Nowhere does that say that this moves. I don't know if that's meant to represent it or not, but actually you need to do that before you reach this stage anyway. Never mind. We all got to see, at least I know, the other video should be a little bit more instructive for you. So thank you very much for watching. Please leave any comments below. I'm sure I'm not the only one that struggled a bit with some of these transformations. They are instructional videos. Hopefully you won't suffer these problems now. As I say, please leave any comments below. Click on any other links you wish to look at, and I'll see you again on the next one. Thank you very much. Goodbye.